Welcome to the 2021 Lustration of the Ancestors.
Hello.
Yay.
So happy to see all your faces. I wish we could be together in person, but this is like a wonderful substitute for that. So we're really excited to have this weekend. We have a lot of exciting workshops, some of which have already taken place. And there's a concert tonight. That's going to be great. And we're just going to get things kicked right off. So welcome everybody to Lustration. Our theme this weekend is connecting with the Matron Goddess, exploring the Matron Goddess. Now, the Matron Goddess was something introduced to the liturgy of our tradition by Lady Stephanie about 4 years ago at the 2017 Lustration. And I think it's time, Phoenix and I both thought that it was time we revisited that and expanded on that. So we're looking for an exciting weekend. So with that being said, Phoenix is going to kick us off with a lovely invocation ritual to start Lustration. So Lord Phoenix, go ahead.
All right, let's go ahead and do this. So as Lady Alyssa said, the Matron Goddess was introduced into our liturgy in 2017. That was the last Lustration that Lady Alyssa and I co-hosted together in Stamford, Connecticut. And so when we were planning this this time around, we both thought it was super appropriate to revisit that part of our liturgy and explore that a little bit more. So with that, I will be offering our primary, or like our first invocation of the Matron Goddess through the help and the strength of our ancestors, specifically with the help of our ancestors, because they are the reason that we are gathered for this particular weekend. We are gathered here to celebrate their legacy, to celebrate their strength, and the way they cleanse and bless and fortify us. And so I am also hoping that they too accept this offering and open the way for us to better receive the love of the Matron Goddess, to better receive her warmth, to better receive her waters, to better receive her inspiration, to better embody her as we move forward. So everyone, please pray with me. Hail, ancestors, blood of our blood and spirit of our spirit. We know you are with us. Blessed is the name we share, and yours is the honor. We too pay homage to your struggle and give thanks for your grace. Most sacred and beloved ancestors, we call upon you to descend upon this place and be here with us and partake in these rituals, partake in these energies, fortify us and enrich us. We call upon you to commune with us and give us your messages all weekend long and attune us and make us stronger to make it through another year, to make it through another mystery, to make it through another time of the unknown. Oh, ancestors, we call you down to fortify and enrich us so that we can make it through these things and connect us with that divinity that dwells deep within us so that we can continue to exalt it and show it to the rest of the world. Most sacred and beloved ancestors, I call upon you to descend upon this place and receive this offering of air that I make unto you. Most sacred and beloved ancestors, I call upon you to receive this offering of fire that I make unto you. I call on you, ancestors, to receive this offering of water. And I call on you, ancestors, to receive this offering of earth. Hail, ancestors, blood of my blood and spirit of my spirit, I know you are with me. Blessed is the name we share, and yours is the honor. I do pay homage to your struggle and give thanks for your grace. And I make this final offering, O ancestors. May we all be filled, uplifted, and exalted as we uplift and exalt our ancestors this weekend. May the majesty of the Matron Goddess fill us all as we speak to each other, pray with each other, uplift each other, and support each other in all of our goals and in all of our triumphs and in all of our tribulations. So mote it be. And so with that, I do introduce our first priesthood. Lord Don.
Hello, everyone. So I wanted to start actually by acknowledging the hosts of this lustration, which is what I commonly do. And I think everyone knows the hosts of the lustration are the Archpriestess Alyssa Maxon Kemp, first elder of the Corellian tradition and head of the Dancers of Shakti Temple. And give me. Okay. I return. And of course, the Archpriest Sir Phoenix Coffin-Williams, head of Holistic Knowledge Temple and Knight of the Meritorious Order of the Round Table. And I wanted to say a few words about our hosts. But first, I want to thank you for undertaking this tremendous job and also the work you do every day. And Lady Alyssa has been with us since she was 20 years old, 19 years old. And today she is our first elder and also heads our second oldest temple, the Dancers of Shakti, which was founded in 1974. And Sir Phoenix has been with us since he was 13 years old. And now he heads the Holistic Knowledge Temple, which is one of our most active temples, and also is an archpriest of the tradition. And I wanted to say, not only have you each in your own right have a remarkable journey in our tradition and greatly enriched our tradition, but you also represent the importance of supporting our youth. You both came to us in your youth, and you have greatly enriched us with your contributions to our tradition. And, we always say that we are a family, and I'm very proud to have you both as family. And this is illustrative of why we must support our youth and what it brings us. And I must tell you that to me, as one who is no longer young, it's a wonderful gratification to see young people leading the new generation of our tradition, and to know that should I die tomorrow, which I do not intend to do, that I can do so confident that when I return to life, the tradition will still be here and still be in good hands. And on one level, I've always known that. The ancestors have always said that. But as time has gone by and I've watched these talented young people come up in the tradition and come into positions of authority, I have had confidence that goes with the knowledge. Because I can tell you, there was a time when at every lustration, I was doing all of the rituals, bringing our priesthood up to the point that they could take them over, and wondering, is this ever going to happen? And I kind of miss the days of doing initiations for 37 people in a row, and I kind of don't. And when I am in an initiation now, I mostly am simply there to give my blessing, and other priesthood carry it out. And this is a bittersweet thing, but mostly sweet, because again, it tells me I myself have passed on those things I was charged to pass on to people who are more than capable of carrying them forward and passing them on themselves. And so, Lady Alyssa and Sir Phoenix, I thank you in particular for coming up as leadership of the younger generation, but I thank all of our younger generation. And I hope that we can all join together in the commitment to bring up the next generation as well. And those who are now in their teens and their early 20s. You have become today, they are tomorrow. And we must never forget that tomorrow is always our focus for the future, because when our time does come to leave this incarnation, it is followed by our return. And we must make sure that we are still there to come back to. The second thing I wanted to talk about in my opening remarks is the figure of the Matron Goddess. And as was said, the Matron Goddess was introduced to our theology by Lady Stephanie and also by Lady Crystal, and is an expansion of our teachings, not really a change. And it is not by any means our first expansion. And since our inception, many, many years ago, many generations ago, we have changed many things. We have expanded them, we have grown them. I do not look at that as a change in our teachings, but a deepening. And that is what I would say about this. There are many things today that are different than they were in my youth. We have standardized teaching materials today. I consider that a great expansion. The material is still largely the same, but we have a much better way of passing it on now. Our initiations have changed in character from my youth. And I consider that also a great deepening. The lustrations, when I was young, our lustrations were in the character of private ceremonies of the Mother Temple. Today, everyone can join them. And they not only convey the message and blessing of the ancestors, which they have always done, but they also encapsulate much of our theology in a ceremonial form. This is a wonderful deepening and expansion. And all of these things represent changes which have been for the better and which carry us better into the future. And as those younger generations come up, they will make changes too, so that when in the fullness of time we come back to this tradition in new bodies, we will find it deeper and broader than it was in our lifetime, and that is a strength. I know that there are people in certain other religions who believe nothing should ever change, but that is quintessentially not the Corellian point of view. We believe that a living movement must live and grow, and I am very proud of the growth that we have experienced and continue to experience. And these are the primary things that I wanted to touch on in these opening statements. Beyond that, I want to invite everyone to have a wonderful time during this event. I believe that Lady Alyssa and Reverend Phoenix and our tech crew headed by Sir Edward and Sir Ebony have done a wonderful job putting this together. I'm very proud of the extensive Spanish language programming as well as the extensive English language programming and the participation of Corellians from around the world representing many different backgrounds. And so with that, I want to thank you for your kind attention and let us go forward.
Thank you, Lord Don. Up next, Lady Steph.
Hello, everyone. Look at all these beautiful faces. I wanted to start with, thanking Right Reverend Alyssa and Right Reverend Phoenix for your, I would say, your step and preparing this lovely Lustration weekend. We all needed this as we re-enter into a new world in the coming months. So may this weekend bless you and all here have a great time communing with each other. Now, I will be discussing the matron, and I am so excited that this Lustration's theme is the Matron Goddess. And this teaching will be published on Pagans Tonight podcast, which I will add many more examples of the Matron Goddess. So for your first edition, the many that will be discussing this subject, I'm going to talk about the matron. So within the 8 great powers, notice I said 8 and not 7, the principal archetypes of deity are the fourfold goddess, maiden mother, matron, crone, and a fourfold god, the hero, lover, king, and sorcerer, all complementing each other's strengths, all clarifying purpose. Now, our focus today is the matron goddess, so I'm just going to focus on that, and officially honored and deepening the tradition was, as Reverend Alyssa stated, and Right Reverend Phoenix, that it was, once again, as Lord Don mentioned, a deepening of the tradition in 2017. All right. So many believe the term the triple goddess was created first by the novelist Robert Graves, specifically his book, The White Goddess, published in 1948. Yet know that there were several books that he wrote before that, when he was tinkering around with the idea, forming and developing the idea before the White Goddess. The goddess has its origins earlier in history, or should I say her story. And yes, you do find examples of the emphasis of the triple goddess. And one example of this is found in the 4th century CE in a text by Servius of Hallstatt's writings. And the triple-headed, this is a quote from the Hallstatt's writings: the triple-headed, triple-faced, triple-necked, and goddess of the triple ways, who hold untiring flaming fire in triple baskets, and you who oft frequent the triple way and rule the triple decades. So that was from the magical papyrus in a translation, Dieter Betz. All right, now, so Graves' description of the triple god. As goddess of the underworld, she was concerned with birth, procreation, and death. As goddess of the earth, she was concerned with 3 seasons: spring, summer, and winter. Notice there's something missing there. She animated trees and plants and ruled all living creatures. As goddess of the sky, she was the moon in her 3 phases of the moon: full moon and waning moon. As the new moon or spring, she was a girl. As the full moon, summer, she was woman. As the old moon or winter, she was hag. By most, the triple goddess represents 3 phases of the moon. Phases of the moon, obviously. There are phases of the woman's life. There are more than 3 phases of the woman's life. In fact, there's more phases of a man's life than just 3 phases. So spring, summer, and winter, the waxing full and dark, are usually assigned to the triple goddess. Now, the fourfold goddess is the wheel of life and the road beneath the wheel. As the crone is portrayed as living far from the mundane world, the matron lives in the very center of the mundane world. Her planet, well, she's the queen of the earth. Moon phase, the waning in the dark moon. Her color is green for obvious reasons, since she is the queen of the earth. Her numeral is 11. Her plant is wheat. Her tree is the majestic oak, which grows for 200 years, lives for 200 years more, and dies for 200 years. Her animals, the wolf and the wolf's descendants, the dog. Goddesses, one example is Isis, inscribed on the Temple of Sais, Egypt, says, I am all that is and was or ever will be. So, direction is the south, element of fire, season, autumn. Yes, we can share with the crone. She rules the day. Now, think of the female and the male. We have hero and hero. We have the young lover as well. That's what one of the powers are, is the lover, and as the female is the young adult maiden as the lover. We have the mother. Well, you need a father to have a mother, so the father. We have the male king. Well, you need a queen to go with the king. We have the matron. We have the old god. We have the patron of crone. We have the sorcerer. So you see how that there's always a balance there, one clarifying the other. So the matron goddess is within females and males alike, living a life, I would say, of inspiration and meaning, a life that transforms humanity. Not that the other powers can do the same, either as any individual that is a constant reminder that everyone is able to be a hero. Everyone is able and completely equipped. Matron Goddess is free self-expression and exploration. The Vox, the Matron Goddess, helps us discover what we have been searching for all our life, only to realize we are the whole world. You are the one holding your answers. All the while, the goddess matron, even Zeus stands in awe of her. Far from perfect, she is fee, goodness personified. In addition to the goddess myths, just a few examples of matron goddesses. I love the goddess myths, but also there are goddesses walking among us right now. I'm going to list a few examples that goddesses that have lived on this earth before. Maya Angelou, Ruth Bader Ginsburg, Vera Rubin. She, in fact, look what color she has, the green face. Pamela Coleman Smith, to Purina, Virginia Woolf, Amelia Earhart, Anne Frank, Andrea Lord, Bernzira Bhutto, Chen Xuang Wu, Frida Kahlo. There's a picture of her, of Frida. Georgia O'Keeffe, Helen Keller, Ida Lewis, Shirley Chisholm, Rosa Parks, and naturally there's many, many, many more. So continue identifying and learning from the matron goddesses that once lived on this earth in the past and walked among us and now continue. Well, if you are in the matron stage, are you identifying yourself as the goddess? Identifying others in this time. We have more than enough heroes within the matron goddess in this time of the pandemic. Look at all the sacrifices. Both men and women have, well, sacrificed their time and energy to help in this great need. Now, if you are in stages of your life, shine like you never have before. Shine. Don't for permission, don't waste the right time. Starting today, just explore your light like you never have before. I now leave you with this matron oracle. Now sitting under an oak tree I have on my property, I received and wrote a few weeks back. The beloved ancestors speak of matron goddesses swinging on lighted stars, proclaiming, speak words to all nations. Essentially, everyone yearns to know if they are truly important, if their very voice is heard. This question is always easy to answer. The answer is a resounding yes. If you were not important, you would not be here, neck deep in this grand experiment within this reality system. Celebrate every stage of your life by believing in your deity-given strengths. You are indeed essential for a time as this. There is nothing to fret, to compete, prove, or take, because you are already complete in every way. We see your value, and there is nothing needed to make you more. Once you see you are completely loved, there is no more confusion or negativity. Now is the time to enter into your fullness, into your vox. Be blessed in all you do and have an incredible time this weekend. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Lady Steph, for enriching us with that teaching and exploring the matron goddess with us more fully. I certainly hope that there is so much more of that to come and that we're able to do that interpersonally as the weekend continues. Lady Alyssa, is there anything else that you would like to add?
That was really lovely. Thank you so much, Steph. That was really
Thank you.
I really enjoyed it.
Thank you.
Yeah. I think we just have some words from Sir Ed Hubbard to close out our opening ceremonies. And I've been looking forward to hearing him speak as well. So I'm going to pass it off to Sir Ed.
Second is going to be okay. Been quite a morning. So we've gotten off to a great start. And this is the earliest any Corellian Lustration has ever been. We're running 45 minutes ahead of time. So basically, when they asked about the matron and the idea of the matron, right? People are going to have to admit, I've been admitting people, so you're going to continue to admit people, those who are co-hosts. I'm having, all right, monitoring from 2 different mics. So there we go. All right, so the matron system, they were talking about it. And one of the things I've noticed about it, so I had to think about it quite a bit. And one of the things I was thinking about was that it doesn't represent a time schedule. As you know, one of my famous things that I always say is overestimate what you can do in a year and underestimate what you can do in a decade. And this tradition has been evident of that philosophy. But in the last year, we have underestimated where we were going to be. The things that I was talking about before our COVID, literally November 2019, January 2020, was about to get on a road, start filming festivals, and create a television show, television network on our behalf. And so that was something that I did. And guess what happened? Spirit gave it all to us. We helped run several of the festivals. We didn't just attend them. We didn't just film them. We ended up operating them. And so much graciousness to the Corellians and to those who have established those ideas, those Paladins and all the people who the ones who make sure that it works in whole. Not in the grandmotherly position, because people are still talking about it, but more of the queen, more of the essential authority over those things of life and death. And in the internet world, we're starting to get to a point, we're going to get very interesting into a new point. But the last thing before I go into what I think is going to be the most exciting thing for me to talk about, and I think it'll be very exciting for some of you who, especially if you love game theory, this is going to be a moment into the life of us as an individual, is that I was able to take one of the most important jobs, and I think it's the most important job in a lot of ways, is the job of First Elder. Now, the First Elder is a unique position within the Corellian tradition. It exists for one purpose overall, and that is to assure the succession of the Corellian tradition's authority by making sure that we have not honest is the wrong word, to have a revered and sacred passage of authority. And now we've been very fortunate, while we have had First Elders pass away, we've had very good transition of authority. And that is the number one job of the First Elder, literally, is to help pick candidates and help them choose them for offices and positions. So that's the paperwork side of it. And I've done that really admirably well. And I think that I continue to see that I love looking for talent and everything else. But once it moved from Bitterwin, my mentor, Lady Bitterwin, my mentor, if you ever went away, I'm half daft most of the time in our authority. And she showed me that people mattered. Lady Wendy showed us the compassion necessary, the idea of it. Stephanie showed me that the First Elder kind of leaves down culture. All of these things happen from it. And the last thing that I saw it in other people and the way people reacted to each other, and as much as I tried to give it, is they wanted love and compassion, an understanding ear and understanding soul. And when you come up to me, I'm structural. So if you have a problem with it, I'm going to say to you, how do I fix it? So I need to find someone who can outstand and do this one thing. Instead of asking, how do you fix it? A person who has enough self-awareness, this is what an elder really does, it has enough self-awareness to say, what does the individual need? What do you need? Be it feelings, people want to tell me their problems a lot of times. And then I find myself like, I want to fix this problem. That's a great trait in Paladin general. That is a great trait in a technician. But in the first elder, no, we need to know that love and compassion and energy. And I was very fortunate to see an individual reach that right place so that I could step away. And so that in order for me to do a better job, remember, I like to be second place, put me in the second man's position. You guys can, decide what to do. And that is, so this year, Lady Alyssa took on the position of first elder. And officially, this moves it over so that you don't even have to, that is now officially all of her position. And I think she shows the right aspect that I could see her in the future being the ranking. She's first elder. There isn't much more she can go, and she's going to be doing that. So I see her now being able to do, and a lot of the people who came along with her, able to say, this is now our tradition. This is now our space as well, without worrying about if somebody's going to try to take it away or something is going to happen. And I wanted to give that reassurance to Lady Alyssa and Lord Phoenix and Reverend Liz Hamilton and Reverend Nikki. There's a whole bunch of them that have earned this right, have been with us for so very long. And this was a way that not only could I do better by the tradition, 2, let me sleep at night so I'm not worried about other people's problems, just solving them. And 3, knowing that it is in the hand of someone who is someone I adore and somebody I think is very beloved. So Lady Alyssa has taken over as first elder. And as of this minute, if you're having a first elder problem, it's hers. Okay. So, but that leaves me to be still, so where does that leave me? Well, I'm now second director of that. I'm still Paladin General, and I'm still living my dream. And my dream has been to really create an impact into the world. And so there's a thing called the Corellian Metaverse. I don't know if you've heard the term metaverse before. You will, and we're way ahead of the curve. A metaverse is oftentimes seen as a game world, such as World of Warcraft, Roblox, Minecraft. Oh, you guys got your favorites out there. I have no doubt about it, right? But what it really is where the virtual and the physical meet online in our lives. And the Corellian tradition has been always kind of the cyber ministry. Now, Metaverse is an emerging hybrid virtual and physical world. And it was first mentioned in Snow Crash and Neal Stephenson in 1992, where we're interacting with our avatars as much as we are physical. And so the Corellian tradition has done that in amazing ways. And so that's where we're at. So what do I really mean? You guys have thrown me off my schedule a little bit. So it means that the extension is an extension of the universe of the physical and virtual realities. So we are doing this right now. We were the first last year to really come out. We had ATC did mysteries, and then we did our Lustration last year, and it really set a tone. Our system is coming in there. But one of the things about a metaverse is that it exists all the time, regardless if people are there or not. And so let me go ahead and do a rundown. So our metaverse began a long time ago with in '97 with the Daily Spell. And GeoCities. We were on GeoCities. I don't know if anyone remembers that, but that's where we started. And then we moved on to e-group lists, e-lists, Yahoo groups, and things of that nature. We had a webpage called Telepathic Media in 1998 that gave out the lessons, and we used groups on it. 2001 was the emergence of Witch School, where we had 2,000 people sign up on the first day, and we've been growing ever since and have never stopped, where we made a lifetime commitment to learn anything, anywhere, anytime, which has become a coined phrase out there, through and provide a metaphysical lifetime of education. That has reaped so many rewards. It has been the center and source of our community in so many ways to create a common language and to give people a chance to live a different type of life. And I will talk about what I mean by that sort. So that was our first metaversal connection. And then what did we do? We went on Magic TV. We were on the very first YouTube channel. So we started projecting out in video. Pagan Nightly News, which never made it, but everything else, but lessons, and we did all sorts of things. Don's vlogs. We'll talk about Don's vlogs here shortly. Lady Stephanie's speeches, everybody's speeches, and speeches with elders. We now hold on to more archives. Then we started in 2009, we started Pagans Tonight Radio. And it was never, ever just Corellians. Not once. What did we do? We ended up being the voice of the pagan world and giving voice to the entirety of the pagan world community. We gave them shows, we gave them things of that nature. We found a way to give of audio connection, and we became closer. Corellian Family Hour was one of my favorite shows. We'd often hear from the Corellians and do so. Together, all of that combined, Witch School, Magic TV, and also Pagans Tonight Radio represents over 12,000 hours of audio, visual, and more than 50 gigabytes of hard text. We are the archivists of the transition from the 20th to 21st century of the pagan community. We have archives of people who have long now passed. And if that which remembers lives, we are now taking the actions to make sure that they live. So that is where we at our core. But we also have other things. We have a terrific Facebook community. We have people in Instagram and on Twitter, and we have all of these other things that are coming there. But we have one physical item that I adore, and that is the idea of the crystal web. We have a ward system, an energy sharing system, a protection system that we share that has, if I'm right, has over 1 million crystals all over the world. We've every parliament we've gone to. 1993, 1999, 2004, 2009. The entire tradition started coming out in 2015, 2018, and this year will be another. And this year will be the virtual one. Yes, we've gone from a physical event to a virtual event. And all of this has been predicted. So I'm going to go way back here, and I want to talk about the tradition itself. In and of itself, the tradition is by its nature started from a prophetic, psychic point of view. We talk about the Radia, we talk about the sort of Wicca and the magic of it. But deep down, this was a group of women and men, exalted women, who had gained a belief in prophecy and in prediction and saw a time in the future where their descendants and their ideas could survive. And they passed it down in an oppressed environment. Remember, these are not the easy, evangelical ministers of the early days of the 1800s running around the West Side, finding their own things. These were women and men who had ideas that went really against the coarseness of what we would call the apocalyptic ideology. In fact, they said one thing above all: we will live, we will survive, we will be remembered. And they had moments in time of prophecy, of visions, of predictions. And instead of talking about those aspects, and they have to some degree, they didn't do that. They made sure that the next generation had the same set of skills. And then we get to Lady Crystal and Lord Don. And they were told by Spirit to open it up. And there are tapes that said, oh, you're going to be worldwide. You're going to be big. This message needs to be heard about the whole world right now. And I know Lady Crystal, when she saw it, she accepted that Spirit had said it, but she could not see how it was. We've had, that sort of thing. In 1992, we had Rosemary Fletcher give us a prediction saying that we're going to have a newspaper, a television station, all of this stuff. And it was going to be worldwide. And we were like, woohoo, we're going to be rich. Little did we understand the message was correct, but oftentimes the messenger is wrong. We did get all of those. We got everything we could ever dream for virtually. That's it. But in 92, they couldn't see that. They couldn't understand that. And so we went and worked on it, and we followed Spirit, and this is where we are today. Every generation of those who have worked in Spirit knows there's going to be a tomorrow, knows they have leverage on tomorrow, that they can make tomorrow better for the whole world, hopefully, but at least for other people who share our common philosophy that life is not only worth living, it's not even worth just living. It is important to thrive and cherish and be honorable. And more importantly, above all other things, to be happy. And so when I joined the Corellian tradition, it was because I put down a very big burden that the world was going to end because it had to. That was my legacy. That was my dark shadow that I had to give up to be a Corellian. That the world was going to come to an end because it had to, because there had to be a battle between all the powers in the world until one came out. I played the game. It's called Risk. I love risk, but I don't want to necessarily live on our planet that is the number one place. So that I found this idea of peace and legacy. And Gaia has shown herself into me in so many ways. And so in the next place that we're moving to is this idea of a metaverse. And what do I mean? So the Corellian Lustrations have been online. Everybody's talking about their events being online. We've always been online to the maximum ability we have. We've done Facebook Live the minute it happened. We've been videotaping it. If you want to go into Magic TV, you can see every illustration in most of the workshops that have ever been. That which remembers lives. We're leaving one of the greatest legacies, religious legacies, cultural legacies, seed civilization legacies we've ever created. And we've done it in approximately 127 years from the time that vision of a more of a world is. And we will continue to exist without us. So here's what the last thing it is. So what we call the metaverse is everywhere we can touch each other. And we are now the spiritual force behind the metaverse. We know how to connect with each other spiritually. We have brothers and sisters whom we've never physically met, have met in spirit and in mind. We have mothers out there who we adore their children and want them for the very best of their children and want them to be raised as us without ever physically coming in contact with them. But we've touched each other's hearts. We have gone around the world multiple times and have never left our chairs. Isn't that an amazing act of astral projection? We have built a system where we have temples all over the world, and we're only now beginning to build buildings. Where other people spend dollars, we spend time. Where other people go out and use guilt, we use attention. When we go out into the world, we say that we can be anywhere that we touch, and we have this power of intelligent electricity and the skill set and the pieces that we're putting together constantly, not for the reason we want them. I mean, we have a TikTok account. We have a Clubhouse, but because we want to go where people are, and we want to offer them an opportunity to see the world from our point of view, a healthy point of view, a place where we are all working to have a healthier and happier life. And no, I'm not going to tell you, I'm not saying it's all going to be easy. We got climate change. We got a bunch of problems coming. And that's where our next step is. How are we going to start solving problems in our community to help us perpetuate our systems? How are we going to unleash these resources that we've grown globally to do so? We have Witch School, which is a great thing. We've created the CEM broadcasting system in the last year, which is great. We will continue to do so. And the way we do so isn't by working as one unified whole. We've never done that. But by individual projects and individual people being supportive of each other so that we can create multiple executable actions. So we have the artificers who do wonderful work with robes, and that has come a long way. Oh my God, we're some of the best dressed Wiccans out there. And we have the muses come out really strong. The music people have come out really strong. We've seen really strong music in the last year. We've always seen music, but we're seeing it grow. We're seeing the Corellian Times come back. We see the Paladins who 2 years ago, last time we were together in Danville, talked about being advanced and being better. And now we're there. And now we're there as well. And now we see that they've been able to function in a virtual world. So we've been functioning in a virtual world. So let me go ahead and I'm going to give you this last piece. The metaverse is always on. It's experienced, and this is by Matthew Ball. It's always on. It's experienced in live and real time. It can host any size audience. It has a fully functioning economy. We're getting there. We're selling a lot of patches. It spans across platforms as well as digital and physical realms. It allows digital assets to be carried across platforms. Experiences and content will be created by individual users and huge corporations alike. That's where we're at. Does that not sound like us? And so that means we get to form our own reality within this sort of online world. That's all. And what we're going to do is more of it. We have now Pagan World is a project we have. We have more programming coming. We have all sorts of things. But here's where I want to leave you. I'm an Imagineer. People want to call me a vision holder. This is one of the terms I've gotten put on me hard. And they don't necessarily understand exactly what they mean by that. But I'm an Imagineer. So if you've got projects you want to do and you're willing to overestimate how long it's going to take you to get it done just so you can get started, we know that rule. I didn't think it was going to be so hard when I started. Of course not. You would never do anything if you did. So you can overestimate your first year and underestimate your decade. And like we see here today, the people who have emerged out in our tradition to kind of begin the process of expanding our leadership role in the world, not just for ourselves, but in the world. We can see now, we can start supporting them. So if you have any project you ever imagined, come talk to me and we will begin that process. We're in a time when almost anything is possible. It just takes human execution. In our metaverse, we're happy, we're cheerful, and we want to continue to support each other in every way we can. And so thank you for hearing me. And I think most importantly, I think if anything you understand out of this is that you guys are all doing a great job. Don't stop, keep going. We got a lot more energy ahead of us. Blessed be.
Blessed be. Thank you so much, Sir Ed. That was beautiful. It was wonderful. Super inspiring, as always. Nobody inspires like you do. It's so true.
That's very kind to say.
And I really thank you. Thank you again from the bottom of my heart for your faith in me. It is always a very humbling honor to continue in your footsteps. And I love you very much.
Thank you.
So everybody, you have heard about the past of our tradition and the future of our tradition. And we've heard a lovely speech about the Matron Goddess. And I think it was a great way to kick off Lustration. All this beautiful knowledge. Is truly an inspiring afternoon here with all of you. I hope that we take this energy and keep it moving through the whole weekend. I hope everybody has a really wonderful time connecting as a Corellian family. That is what we are, and that is what we are about. We are one always. We love each other, and we truly are family. And nothing is like a lustration, even a virtual lustration. And I hope that you all feel that throughout this whole weekend as we move forward and we explore our tradition and we explore the Matron Goddess and we explore the things that connect us always. So I'm going to invite you all to stay if you want to chat. The next scheduled event is Lady Kai's workshop on connecting with the aspects of the Matron Goddess at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm really looking forward to that from Kai. And yeah, everybody enjoy yourselves, chat, get to know each other, and be family. Blessed be.
Yes, absolutely. So I definitely encourage everybody to get your cards out, get your crystals out, get your tools out, get your cameras on, link up with some other folks, talk about where you are in your lessons, talk about the eerie way that these lessons like seem to apply to your life at just the right moment, and really get some of this stuff off your chest. This is one of the best ways to make the more isolated parts about practicing alone by yourself. This is one of the ways to make it more real, more deep, more meaningful. We are out here, we are here for you, and we want to support you. And this is one of the ways that we can do it the best that we can. So enjoy each other, and blessed be.